on to the next part. So the next thing I wanted to do on this today's stream was, since I beat last stream, we finished Monster Hunter Wilds main storyline. So we beat all those monsters. We got them all beat. So these are just the ones up into that main story, and so anything after the end credits, it's not going to be here. So no in-game monsters or no weird variants that I haven't fought yet. After we get through this, we will be hopping on some Monster Hunter more than likely, and maybe we'll run into some of those variants and whatnot. But anyway, it's not important for here and now. We're just going to go in order based on the pictures here. So first one is this the Great Ape. I want to say, I don't know, I'm going to fully admit, do not know how to pronounce some of these names. So if I butcher them, I apologize now. But anyways, the Great Ape, I do remember this fight. He kind of like pulled up in that like furnace area, like when you were first entered that like main second area of the map. Starting in chapter 2, that was a good fight because there was like 3 of them and they just kind of kept coming. I'm gonna go ahead and put that. I'm gonna give that a B tier. As far as like how, no, I'll put it as an A. I did enjoy that fight. That was a good fight. I thought it was nice and challenging. What am I trying to say? I liked his moveset. He was like very much all over the place jumping, and he had that one move where he jumped up, spun down, and dash into like a huge blast explosion. That definitely took some getting used to. But yeah, I definitely liked his he was a good guy to fight. So next we have this trimmer guy. I don't remember his name. He was just a trimmer. He's slightly annoying because he's constantly going under the in the sand and whatnot. So it's like, that was kind of like whatever. And it's my own fault. I didn't have screamer pods. Definitely would have changed the fight if I had screamer pods, but I didn't. So because of that, I'm gonna put him in C tier because he's a graboid at the end of the day. How much damage could you really do? This might be a weird one, but this is like the first intro monster, the chatterbotter thing. I'm gonna honestly put this up here at the S tier, I think, only because I solely like this monster for the sole purpose of needing a punching bag. This is the only reason why it's putting in S tier. If I just want to go like have a good time and just like hit on a monster, not really have to worry about it trying to fuck me up or anything like that, I'm going to go fight this thing. Or if I want to test out a new weapon that I haven't used before, I'm going to go fight this thing and I'm going to go body it real quick because I know it's going to be a short fight, and more than likely I'm not going to hurt myself, or I'm not going to die. So for that reason, I'm going to put him as an S tier. Very stupid, but controversial, to my opinion. I can't be wrong. So next is this that monkey that farts. I do not have this one recorded because it was before I decided I wanted to start recording all the fights and putting them on YouTube. So this is the only one that I do not have. But this one wasn't a funny fight because, you know, when you first pull up on him, he literally farts all over you and just blasts you with his shit. It's kind of disgusting. But overall, the fight itself wasn't bad. He had good claws attacks. I didn't think it was bad, but I'm going to put him at a C. Next we have that Domrashaka or whatever. Again, I do not know how to pronounce these names, so I'm going to butcher them and it's going to be bad. But it is what it is. We're moving on. So yeah, this thing, I did think it was fun. It was like a giant it's like a giant bear almost with, yeah, it kind of reminds me of a giant bear. I thought it's nice fun to fight. It's similar to the Chattergama in a way where I don't feel as threatened by it, but it does require a bit more like focus than fighting a Chattergama or whatever these things are called. But this definitely was a good fight. I'm gonna throw this one into B tier because again, like, it wasn't necessarily hard, but it wasn't necessarily easy. It was just kind of like a nice and medium, like, okay, the game's really starting to test you to make sure that you're keeping up with the pace, because it is starting to get a bit more aggressive as you're going on here. And by aggressive, I just mean harder. The game's it's testing you, I guess. Skill check, as they say. Or anyway, next is that Argvard, which is like the second to the end game boss. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it up here in S. This one's a fun fight. I liked the use of his change. I thought it was very unique and very different from what I've seen. And I'm not a Monster Hunter veteran to the degree. I've only played Monster Hunter Worlds, really. And I got a decent amount of hours in it. Let me see real quick. Hold on. Fact check. Yeah, I got just under 200 hours, so 193 hours. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a baby veteran. No, I'm not a veteran. Remove that. I'm just a casual Monster Hunter player over here. Not new to the series, but still relatively new because there's a lot of deepness that we're about to dive into this in-game content and wilds, and I don't know anything about that yet. So that's going to be a fun experience. Anyway, back to the list. All right, so next up we got this other Doma Shaka or whatever, the Guardian variant. I did like this one. It was very almost similar to that fight. It's the same monster. The only difference is this one has like a separate AoE. And I forgot to mention, these will be some spoilers on some of the monsters for those people who have not finished the game or gotten to the end game credits. Just wanted to put it out there. You've been warned. And if you've already been spoiled because I forgot to mention it, my bad. I've been told that I'm known for spoiling things. Anyway, but I'm gonna put this guy in. I'm gonna put him in a B, even though he was a little bit tougher, but he was still, at the end of the day, he was still the same fight for the most part. The only difference was you just had to watch out for that elemental AoE when that gets introduced when you fight the Raytheon. Next is the Ebony Odogaron. Now this thing, I definitely have some familiarity with this, specifically from Monster Hunter World. When I fought this thing, I was definitely overconfident because I went into it like, oh yeah, I fought you before. I'm gonna whoop your ass. He whooped my ass at first. I don't know what I was thinking. I was way too confident going into it. We did bounce back. He didn't kill me though, but he did bounce back and we took him out. But I'm gonna put this guy, I'm gonna put him up in the A tier because I just overall like fighting these things and I like the drip that you can get from their armor and whatnot. And then we have the Raytheon. Let's see, the Raytheon, nothing special here. If you played Monster Hunter before, if you played any Monster Hunter before, you fought one of these 100 times probably already. Nothing really new here. Since it was a Guardian variant, it did have that weird like Frost Prime detonate system, I guess you could say, because it would like set those like little ice shards that would come up, freeze, and if its fire hit it, it would cause an explosion. So that was like the only like real difference. But for the most part, I watched this thing, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it in a C tier. This hyper, I fucking forget what this thing's called. But it's like that weird flying centipede thing. I fucking hate this thing. I just hate it because it was constantly flying all over the map, making it hard to hit. I believe I switched to the bow specifically because I was just annoyed by it, and I was like, yeah, I want you to just be over with and out of my game. So I'm gonna throw him into D tier. This rose spider thing was another early game boss. I really actually loved this boss. I thought it was very beautiful when it first popped up, and it hit me with that rose ass like stinger thing, and I was just like, the way like it transformed, the way it like creepily moves throughout the map, I thought that was very nice too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that in an A tier. I enjoyed that fight. Then we have the other spider that starts with an N. I again don't know how to pronounce these, and I'm gonna butcher it. So this is something that starts with an N. I guess I could look it up, but I don't want to. Again, I don't know what I was gonna say. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this spider was a bit more tricky than this other one, only because he had some different movesets where he would go under the map. He would have these large claws that would extend out and kind of like squeeze in and bite you, and it was super annoying. I did fight this thing a few times because I did like the drip from it, so that boosts it up a point. You know, if the drip's good, you get boosted up a point. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw him in the A tier as well. This was the Black Flame. Okay, so this guy popped up after you fought the Great Ape. So this is like in chapter 2 after you're in the second area. This guy was fun. It's just an octopus. It was kind of annoying, to be honest, because it was on fire and just constantly throwing oil at me and setting everything on fire. So that was kind of tricky, and it would like got to the point where it was me or him. I was out of healing items. He was on his last breath, and I was like, it's me or you, brother. And I just looked him in the eye and hit him with whatever weapon I was using. I do not remember, but we got the footage over on the YouTube side of things if you want to check that out. So because of his annoyingness, I'm gonna go ahead and put him at a I'll put him at a B because he was kind of annoying. But just wasn't annoying enough to be an A, or like wasn't intriguing enough to me to become an A, but wasn't not shitty enough to be like anything lower, if that makes sense. But like, I don't know, I just feel like something was needed for it to be A. The fire chicken with the tail. That's what I call this thing. I do like fighting this thing. It to me feels like, again, like the Chatagama, just like a punching bag. If I just want to fight something easy, I'm just gonna go fight this thing. um, but overall, nothing really fascinating about it. I'll throw in the D tier. Yeah, just as nah. It deserves a bit more respect than that. It belongs in a C. This thing belongs in a D tier because it's ass. And honestly, this should be called like F tier. I can change it because this is my poll, by the way. I want to put. Oh, I forgot to put the link, but I'll put the link to it in the on the YouTube side, so that way if anyone, or I'll drop it in the chat when I'm done here. So if people wanted to see it or use it themselves, do whatever, or not. Either way, up to you. The Radua or whatever, the flame electricity dragon guy or Wyvern, whatever you want to call it. I do like this thing. I thought it was fun to fight. I just overall like electricity weapons in fantasy like games or like any kind of thing. So when you're gonna give me an electric variant, I'm gonna lean towards it. I'm gonna lean into it. I was a little disappointed in the drip. It looked a little weird to me. And I know I should be talking about the monster, and here I am talking about the drip. The fight wasn't bad. Like, with the introduction to for this monster was sick because it was fighting the White Wraith. We didn't know what it was at the time, but it was going toe to toe, being the apex predator in that area, just fucking shit up. Unfortunately, got its ass kicked, but we had a good fight with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it the respect it deserves and put it up in the A tier. I fought this thing once, and it was in the story. It's the Rampula or whatever. It like blows itself up like a balloon. I thought I was stupid. There are weapons I want to get, but haven't gotten them because I have to fight this thing, and I just don't want to fight. I have no interest in fighting this thing ever since I beat it. It didn't do anything for me. So it's going in the F tier as well. What do we got here? This was the Udon or whatever. This guy was the only one with the shield, a shield kind of mechanic, and I did think that was kind of interesting because that veil that it would put on into its body was it like would shield itself from taking damage. So you would either have to destroy the veil or hit it somewhere where the veil wasn't covered. And I thought that was a kind of cool mechanic. But I was kind of wondering if there were going to be other monsters that have that. But I wasn't sure. Or hold on, what am I trying to say? I'm not sure if other monsters have that shield thing. I didn't see any when I was initially going through the main story, so I'm curious to see if there's any in the in-game or like how that mechanic's going to be carried through. And sorry, I got distracted because my headset turned off. Stupid battery powered headset. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and throw this guy up in the... I'll give him a B. He wasn't terrible. I haven't fought... No, I did fight one again. Yeah, I fought one of them again, and it wasn't a bad fight. It was just not bad. It wasn't memorable, wasn't horrible. This octopus is annoying. It has like little rapiers, almost like attacks, because it's like very much like trying to fence you with poking, with very much poking, very opposite of the other octopus who like just burning you. This one likes to get in the pocket, but he also just disappears and he runs away a lot, so that's kind of annoying. But overall, I did think this monster was kind of interesting and fascinating, but so I'm going to go ahead and put him at a B tier. Not cool enough for me to consider an A, but actually, no, I will give him an A because I just remember what his drip looked like. So again, that drip gets a point. And this was the end game boss right here. This was the final boss. It's like Zuhara Shida or something. Again, terrible at pronouncing these names. Apologize in advance. But I did like fighting this thing. It was crazy with its crystallization because it had like these crystals that would form on its body, and you would have to destroy them because I think it would like help it charge, and then it would also like randomly uncocoon itself from its crystal body and like look at like a completely different beast, launching these insane fire attacks. And then the one fire attack where it just completely levels the entire like playing field for a moment is crazy, and you have to like hide behind these ice pillars, but even that's not enough. You're still taking damage, and I thought it was crazy I didn't die in that fight. There were so many moments I thought I was going to die, but I didn't, and we somehow beat it. But that was a crazy fight. This monster is crazy, and he's definitely going to go up in the S tier because he's goated with the sauce in my book. Yeah, and there we have it. My kind of rapid fire little list here. I'm gonna drop it in the chat over on the down the purple app for those interested. And I'm also gonna put it in the YouTube. There it is. Oh wait, hold on. I should refresh this real quick. I'll also put it in YouTube so you can check it out. And if you want to make your own list, you can use this or one of the others. Many people all over the world have made lists. When I went to look for one of these, there was a bunch of them. I just wanted one with no end game monsters because I haven't fought them, so I don't have an opinion. So yeah, but yeah, there's the link on the YouTube chat. And do I have the TikTok chat opened? I do. Are you liking this monster tier list that I've done here? Go ahead and hit that like button on the prospective platform if there is a like button.